We're live? All right. Rock and roll, baby. Happy, shit, what day is it?
Thursday.
Happy Thursday. I honestly had no idea what day it was. Happy Thursday, everyone. I think they say Thursday is the day of Thanos, who attempted to cut the universe in half. Which, one of the things I love about Thanos is I love the heart behind his original goal, which is to save the universe. That was his misguided objective, and he thought that it was getting overpopulated. But I always criticize his strategy. It's like in one population cycle, it's like people would have more kids to overcompensate, and they'd be like, we'd be so back. So it was like a 20-year solution. I just like, I'm like, really? After like amassing all the stones, that's what you thought? I don't know. I feel like he could have had a better plan. Anyways, just saying. And everybody, I love you all. Hope you guys are having an amazing start. So we're doing a little Hormozi hotline today. So I'm taking calls from Vantage, which is our community of $1 million plus business owners, where I answer questions. And so that's not the only thing we do, but I'm doing that now. So who we got first? Drum roll, please. Mindy, I also see you in the chat. What's up? Ramos, I also see you. What's going on?
Mark.
Hello? I don't hear anything. In the meantime, I'll answer Klij D why people don't do the stuff they said they should do. Because they have a reinforcing contingency that is short term, that is more reinforcing than doing the thing they think they should do. Long term, you solve that by taking actions, and then once you take those actions, creating a label for that pattern of behavior that you would then call an identity. So we basically create an identity that says, I am organized. And so you do some sort of organizational activity, and you say, I am organized. And as a result of being organized, I now behave in this way on a consistent basis because it is more reinforcing to be consistent with that identity, that label that I've given myself, which I've deemed as good, than it is to not do it. And so then that is how those cycles or those patterns get created. And so almost all of these things always have to start with some sort of behavior. I would say that oftentimes when we're younger, we do something. Then someone says, you must be organized. We associate it with something good, and then we repeat that behavior in the future. And so I think when we're adults, we basically have to do that for ourselves. Otherwise, we stay stuck in basically short-term thinking and short-term behaviors, which ultimately yield short-term
Recording
results,
in progress.
which is no bueno, which is Spanish for not good. Mark, we on? I don't hear anything. In the meantime, if you guys are in the chat, drop preguntas. Let's do it while we wait for Mark.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Mark, what's going on, dude?
We did it. When my wife was in labor, I worked from the hospital room on my laptop during the hours she slept. I promised her for years that all of this would pay off, but right now we're crammed in a tiny house in LA with 2 kids under 18 months, and yes, the second one was not planned. I run a poker coaching business, and I was at your workshop 9 months ago. We were at $2 million a year then, and we've doubled to about a $4 million a year pace this year, but my goal is $1 million a month.
Okay.
What's stopping me is I can't figure out how to scale demand past what our warm audience generates. We've got nearly 200K YouTube subscribers, and we close over 40% of the people we pitch into our 5-day 5K program, but we only sell 30-something seats a month, and we have capacity for triple that. And every cold audience funnel I've tried has come back break even or worse. I was hoping you could tell me exactly where I'm fucking up so I can buy my family the house they deserve.
Well, first off, thank you for that context. It sounds like you have a crazy story right now. Right now, your cold traffic is the natural funnel that should be added onto what your existing. Like basically, warm is only going to get you whatever warm's going to get you, and you probably have a warm sales motion rather than a cold sales motion. And so when cold traffic's going through a warm motion, it's not converting. And so we basically need to change your sales motion from a warm motion to a cold motion. And so there's 2 downstream benefits of that. When warm traffic goes through a cold motion, they will be more sold and more likely to take a higher priced offer. And when cold traffic goes through a cold motion, they'll just be more likely to buy. And so basically we need to microwave your cold traffic to make it warm. And so that's basically the step in the process that's probably missing. So walk me through the cold traffic funnels that you had leading up to this. And what is let's start with the warm and then we'll do the cold. So what's the warm traffic funnel right now?
Warm traffic funnel is just VSL into book a call.
Okay. Yeah, so just a basic call funnel on warm traffic.
And we also have a warm direct response that is printing as well. It just, that one fatigues really quickly, so we have to keep spend down.
So it's just bottom of funnel. That's the issue. So basically it's functionally like that direct response, kind of like, hey, come to the thing, is taking the bottom slice of the pyramid, the people who are like 6-inch putts, and then just putting them in. So in a lot of ways, they're just retargeting. But you're looking at like, how do I get more people in top of funnel into my world, correct?
Correct, yes.
So there's a couple ways to do this. I'll call it the short-term and long-term way, and we could have a combination of both, which is probably what I recommend. So the call it the blended way is to run a paid workshop. So when I say paid workshop, I'm saying like call it a $49 to $99 offer, probably $99, and have it be a legit workshop. And then that workshop will allow you to take, like, it's much easier to get someone to buy a $99 thing than, how much is the poker coaching?
$5K.
Okay, yeah. So it's much easier to get those guys to spend $99 and deliver one thing that's super valuable. You prove the value, right? That way they don't have to guess, is this guy good or not? You can take the time to tell them who you are, and then the vast majority of it is going to be the value, and then you make them a nice, irresistible offer of taking the next step. And so basically you book your calls from that live thing rather than from like a short VSL.
Cool. We tried a cold webinar and it's flopped a couple of times.
Yeah, I'm guessing, was it free?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would make it paid and just expect that you'll expect to lose money on the the $99 purchases. But what'll happen is I'm going to bet that the people who did no one show up, or were the people who showed up not qualified?
We had about a 25% show rate.
That's fine. For free, that's fine.
Yeah, only 5% of those booked calls. The retention was incredible, but only 5% ended up booking calls.
So what's likely is that the vast majority of people who showed up to the webinar were unqualified. Did you have any metrics on the customers, like from the opt-in, of like who was qualified for the thing?
It seems like even the ones that booked calls, just most of them could not afford the thing.
So that's where like having that little bit of friction will typically take the unqualifieds from like 90%, which is probably what it was, to closer to like 40% on a paid workshop. And once someone makes a tiny purchasing decision, likely they make the next purchasing decision significantly higher, like buyers buy more. Does that track?
Yes, 100%.
So basically just run this to a sales page, stack the living fuck out of the bonuses, so that it just be like the $99 should feel like absolutely absurd, and then make that, call it like a 3-hour workshop, and then just sell at the end.
Cool. Okay.
Does that make sense? It was just you just had to tweak it. That's all it was. You were like, free sometimes can be harder, and especially since you have an audience, it's like these people have some level of trust with you, and so it's like let's deliver more value prior to the ask.
100%.
And then qualify better.
Sense.
Yeah, I would also on the opt-in form. Are you getting qualification data?
Right now, we were only asking for name, email, number.
What do you know? What behaviors or characteristics does someone have to be a good buyer for you?
The average amount that they buy in for is our highest quality signal. When they play poker.
Oh, okay, cool. So then I would just add that as one of the fields. So you have name, phone number, email, average buy-in for the games you play.
Cool. And do we DQ people who don't?
No. What it'll do is you're going to get that data, and you can get a little bit cute with Facebook and have different thank you pages for the people who buy and are qualified, or don't buy and are not, or buy and are not qualified, and then you can train the pixel data on the more qualified audience.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're doing that for our organic right now anyway.
All right, cool. I'm just writing this down for myself. Okay, so number one, we switch from free webinar to paid webinar, which is not even a webinar, but we're going to change it to a workshop. And then number two, that maybe 90-minute thing that you were doing before, expand to 3 hours, deliver true value for $99. And then on the front end, we want to make sure that we add the highest signal, which is the buy-in, to the intake so that we can start optimizing all of our ads around it. And you can quickly see what your true conversion percentage is. Because I actually care very little about the webinar conversion percentage. I care a lot more about what the qualified conversion percentage is. Because maybe you had 5% that closed last time, or whatever it was. No, 5% qualified, whatever it was. But like if you closed 50% of the people who were qualified, it's a banger webinar. It's a traffic issue. And that will give you a much better read, because if you're going to do these week to week, which I'm sure you will be way better at predicting what the revenue size of the workshop is going to be based on how many qualifieds are there, not how many leads.
Cool. Okay.
Rock and roll.
This tracks. Yeah, I appreciate this.
Yeah, and juice the hell out of that $99 offer. That's the third thing.
Just give away a ton.
Yeah, make it absurd. There's no reason someone should not do it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it once again.
Congrats on getting from 2 to 4 million.
Thank you. Next time we talk, hopefully it'll be over 10
million a month, baby. All right, rock and roll, man.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah. All right. Was that interesting for everybody? Sometimes it's like 6-inch putts. It's super, super tight.
Yo, what's going on, Alex? Good to see you again. Justin King here.
What's up, stud?
What's going on? Hey, your arms are looking a little bigger, by the way.
Thanks, man. I'm actually dieting down, so I was a little chunkier, and I just cut 200 grams a day out of my carbs, so I'm a little crazy.
There you go. Well, best of luck on that.
Thanks.
So my co-founder Chris Bumstead and I built Standard for men to attack comfort and low standards head on. Through our transformational online coaching, we allow men whose bottleneck to their success is their body the opportunity to earn self-mastery and transform their bodies within our 4-step success guaranteed system. We're at 150K MRR. We want to scale to 15 mil MRR in the next 3 years. We've produced thousands of transformations and worked with 100 plus pro athletes, but we are demand constrained.
You want to get to 15 million a month? Is that what it was? Okay.
Yep.
So get to 15 million a month. All right. Okay, so what's that? So it's a 10x is 1.5, 100x is 15 million. Okay, so we need 100x. So how many sales per month is it right now? What's the price point?
Yeah, so right now, main thing we push towards is a 15K PIF.
Okay.
All-inclusive telemed with one-on-one coaching.
Got it.
Mastery, the whole shebang. Obviously, we can scale the price, but this is just initially where we're at.
Yeah, so you're selling 10 per month at that price, is that correct?
Yeah, just about.
Okay, 10 per month at 15. Okay, what's the funnel right now?
Meta ad into VSL page with an application, sales kick utilized to financially qualify, setter doing manual touch points into a one sale close.
So ads, VSL, application, qualify, SDR, or no, so the touch point, tell me about that. Like, is that a phone call or is that?
So we actually, first off, shout out to your ACQ AI. That thing is disgusting.
Thanks, man.
So completely redid everything and will be implementing the whole double dial, the whole funnel system that you talk about in all the sales processes.
Yeah.
So these metrics are off of what we used to do.
Okay,
we
that's
will
fine.
be implementing what you kind of consider like best practice.
Okay, so what were the metrics what was CAC before this?
Yeah, so daily ad spend 1,300. We were a 3,500 CAC, AOV about 12K.
Okay.
Upfront cash collected ROAS 5.4 and Rev ROAS 7.8 over the last quarter. But caveat, it was extremely inconsistent. 3 weeks of like just not there, and then a single week of like randomly hitting good. The last piece that I'll add is that was in utilizing payment processors such as WAP to where they take, which I mean, it's nice for scaling. It's nice to get cash, but I don't know if it's a long-term move.
Oh, you mean you just had a BNPL option, buy now, pay later type thing?
Yep.
Financing? Yeah. Okay, so a couple things. So the ads themselves, who are in the ads?
Chris, predominantly from a cultural standpoint, and then myself, middle of funnel is what we're going for. I'm like,
You're the
he
VSL.
is not going to be the salesy person. And then VSL is shared between the two of us to show the correlation and co-ownership.
Got it. Okay, so I'll say this. I think the spend might be too low, which is what
100%.
Basically insufficient volume feels like volatility. Because like if you think about it, like if you have $3,500 CAC and you're spending $1,300 a day, you're going to get one sale every 3 days. It feels very lumpy. And if for some reason you don't have a sale every 3 days and it just means you have nothing for 6 and then you have 2 in a day, right? It's still the same percentage, but it feels like nothing's happening. And so when you have higher price point stuff and CAC is higher, you need daily spend to be significantly higher, which is then going to create the second problem, which is you're going to not have enough creative to fill the funnel. Normally, I would say we want more top of funnel stuff, but given the size of CBum's audience and brand, I don't think he needs more recognition.
No.
But you will need more creative. So
and
how
what
many?
you see with? Or sorry, go ahead.
How many pieces of creative are you like basically making per day that you're launching?
Last quarter, not as consistent as we'd like. Running into 5 new creatives for myself and 5 new creatives for Chris
Per day? Oh, per week.
a week.
Yeah. So with your spend volume, like I would like to see like I don't know. I mean, kind of like a lot, man. Like to put this in context.
100x. We're talking 100x.
Yeah, it's a lot more. So put it in context, like we put out 250 new ads per day. Now our spend's higher, right? But if we're at even 100 times spend at 100,000 a day, we'd still have like you're putting out 5 per week. We're putting out 250 per day times 7. We're at 1,500 per week, and you're at 5. And so the volume difference is dramatic, right? And so I would say like the first thing is, number one, ads have to go from 5 per week to probably closer to like 100 as like kind of a baseline in terms of volume, number one. Number two, I think we need to increase spend from, you're spending, was it 1,300 a day?
Yep.
I would like to spend 5,000 a day. No, you're at 150 a month. So I probably want to increase spend. At least I want to get to at least CAC, right? But just so you know where I'm thinking with this, it's like, can we spend 3,600 a day? Because at 3,600 a day, that means we can get 1 customer a day with our existing, right?
Yeah.
That's just from a perspective change. Number 3, what's the conversion on the funnel? So we've got. Like walk me through like some of the stats here. Like where's the big drop off?
So we're CTR 0.8%, 350 per qualified.
CTR's 0.8?
Mm-hmm.
That's low. Especially with Chris's brand.
Yeah.
What's the offer?
So that's again, shout out to your AI. We have that solidified now. Prior did not have it solidified.
Okay.
But where we're at right now, it is a 6. So basically, it's like get abs in a year and completely change life with our system.
Okay.
Otherwise, like we'll coach you for an additional 3 months free.
Okay. What's the new offer?
That's the new.
That's the new one. Okay, got it. Okay, and the old offer was what?
Come in and work with us.
Okay, yeah. So that's. I was like 6-pack in a year is actually pretty believable. I actually really like that. So.
Well, so our norm is 2.5% every 4 weeks. So it's like someone could be 45% body fat and get down to 10 in a year, and we have an incredible coaching system and an incredible accountability and like tracking data system. So like we can do a conditional guarantee very easily.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that's the new system.
Okay. And the 15K just includes everything, all the telemed already built in?
Correct.
Okay, got it. So number 1, go from 5 ads a week to 100 ads a week. And you can do a blend of statics and video there. And the way that I would get more video is, again, like it's just you walk in with an iPhone, take the best winners, put it on a teleprompter app so you can just see all your hooks, and just walk and talk, right? Click, 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 click. Like in an hour, you should be able to get 20, 30 ads. All right. If you and CBum do this, it's like there's 60, and then you can take the best performing those, put those as static words with images of CBum, obviously, because that takes him no time. So that's how you can get to 100. And once you find winning hooks, you basically just keep reusing the hooks and just tweaking the meat a little bit and changing the background. That's 1. 2, increase the spend, ideally to CAC, which would be 3,600 or 3,500 right now per day. I know that feels a little bit gutsy, but you already have a proven model, and that's with all the steps not optimized, right? We're going to optimize the steps. The front end offer you're going to change. I like the 6-pack in a year, especially with his brand. It feels very believable. And then on the where are you optimizing the pixel from a advertising perspective?
So other than the media buyers just looking at like the outcome of did someone buy or not, they are feeding information back into it based on 1 closes, if that's what you're asking.
So closes, because you're not going to have enough volume I mean, it's good to have it, but it's not going to be enough of a signal to the pixel. Like you want something that you can get like 1,000 on. And so I would look at probably the application step would be the step that I would try and optimize around. And on the application, have a different thank you page for unqualified versus qualified, which is probably be a huge percentage of the traffic anyways.
Yep.
And then just make sure the pixel is on the qualified only thank you page.
Yeah. Okay. May I ask this last question? If you were to try to do this in half the time, what would be the single thing that you would focus on the most?
It's going to be volume and creative. I mean, volume and creative and spend are the two. Basically, that's what's going to explode the front end.
Yeah.
Like you need to spend more to get more at bats.
Sure. No,
And
that
to spend more efficiently, we need a better offer and better creative, and that's what we just did. And then to make sure that we're actually getting served to the right audience, the pixel on the correct qualified lead thank you page.
Yeah.
The rest of
Makes
it
sense.
seems fun. Like at least for like what can you fix right now? Do that first.
Yeah. Okay.
Rock
Perfect.
and roll.
Well, thank you, Alex. I appreciate you.
You bet, dude. Appreciate you, man. Congrats. I'm glad the AI served you well.
Yeah, sure. Appreciate it.
All right. Talk soon, man. So that was Justin King from Standard. He's part of Vantage, which is a community for $1 million plus business owners. And so if you're like, I see in the chat, how are these calls being sourced? I think they put a link in there. If you are interessante, you can opt in. We priced it as cheap as that audience was willing to. I just said, how cheap could I make this where you'd still believe me? And they said $1,000 a month, and I was like, great. So fun step. You still have to verify your income, FYI. That's how we keep the quality high. All right, with that, let's slay the day, baby.
Hey Alex.
Hello.
Hello. So my name is Mattia. Just to give you some context, my fiance and I are planning a baby soon, and if I can't make my business work, now I definitely won't be able to with less time and less sleep. So for 2 years I've basically worked 12-hour days, doing everything myself, telling my family I'm building the future, but in truth I've been pretty much stuck in place. So I run a marketing agency for realtors and home improvement companies in Slovenia.
Okay.
So Facebook ads, content, and appointment booking. I have 4 clients at total of 3K MRR.
Okay.
Last year I made 30K, and my goal is, so in the last 12 months I made 30K, and my goal is 30,000 net profit per month.
Yeah. So let me ask you a couple questions here.
Yeah.
Can you do the exact same thing in the US as you do in Slovenia?
Yeah, I guess I could, but the market there is, at least for the realtors, is probably a bit different, at least as far as I know. So there would definitely be some changes I would have to make. I currently make content, educational content for them, which which is the only like fixed revenue source I have, since they pay me a retainer on that.
And so you help them make content.
Yeah, I make them content, which performs really well. But then I also do lead gen for them. So
you run ads.
Yes, Facebook.
And you charge 3K a month?
No, 3K a month is like all together from all the clients. So yeah, I'm making 15 to 25% on revenue share, and some on
So I want to give you the best piece of advice that I can give you. So right now, is all of your content in Slovenian right now?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not
so
in English,
I
right?
actually I don't make any content, if that's what you mean.
Okay. How do you attract customers right now?
Cold calling. I've basically had the same clients for the past like 6 months. Because I mentally I can't do anymore.
Yeah. So there's a couple things right now. So number one, the customers, what you're charging versus what you're delivering is mismatched. You're not charging enough for the amount you're doing. That's thing one. Thing two is, in order to get basically appropriately priced, you most likely want to go after a bigger market. Now, normally I don't say like switch markets and things like that, but you're at the very beginning. And so it's like, what's a 100x force multiplier on the skill set you have? You already speak English, right? So I'd rather you just like, can we, because like if you sell into the US market, like you can sell $1,500, $3,000 per client. It's just the dollar's stronger, and especially for what you're doing. You're doing content and ads, which is crazy. Most people literally only pick one or the other. You're doing both.
Yeah, so you suggest I switch to the US.
I think that's what we need to do long term. Short term, I'd like you to increase revenue. So how do we do that? So you're just doing cold calls. You're not making content for yourself, but you are making it for your customers, right?
Yep.
How much additional effort would it be for, like, if you're making them content, how can you not make your own content?
So that was actually one of my additional questions I wanted to ask, if I should like, focus on
1,000%.
that.
Yes, not even a question. 100% you should be doing that. So what I would do is do it in Slovenian and then have it translate and then put the captions in English. That way there's no accent, if that's where you're more comfortable.
Okay.
And I would make the content about you making their content. So basically think of it like this. If you were to teach someone how to do everything that you do in your business without them paying you, what would you teach them? That's what you make your content about.
Okay, make it in Slovenian and then
Yeah,
like, just add captions in English.
Not just get get the get AI voice translation for
Okay.
for the content. Yeah, exactly.
You
That
think the
way,
accent would be an issue?
yeah, because I want it to be for now and later. So it might not even be because it's. Are you on Instagram? I'm guessing that's where you're making the content for them.
Mostly Facebook. Instagram is not doing that well.
Okay. So, I mean, the thing is, the additional effort to do on both platforms is almost nothing. You could probably charge them for that too, as a side note. But for you, you can take the same thing, go on TikTok, go on Facebook, go on Instagram, post it, make sure that you have the translations in place. I would, if you wanted to be, because like sometimes the algorithm would be weird, you can have a US page and a Slovenian page. Again, it's not a lot of additional extra work to just duplicate the effort. And so what this does is, number one, this builds your content strategy while building theirs. So we can solve for both today in terms of lead gen, and then tomorrow in terms of the fact that you're going to have US customers, which you can charge US rates. And so I honestly just want you to take whatever you're charging and add a zero to it, and that's your US price.
Okay.
Seriously. Now, in terms of tactical, well, that was tactical, but the next piece that I want you to do is, are you familiar with ManyChat? Is that how you have them working leads or getting leads?
No, I watched the educational like content you put like 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago. I
Yeah.
watched that, so I'm just basically implementing it for the organic side. So that would be just additional sorts of leads besides the ads. So I'm in the process of implementing that. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, so number one, you make content about helping them make content. And so you try to replace yourself by teaching the public, the world, every single thing you do to build content. Hold nothing back. All right, I'm telling you. You want to hold nothing back.
Be very specific, just for these two niches, I guess, for real estate and home improvement.
Yes. You want to show them everything. So the automations, the AI that you use, everything that you do to run the business better, I want you to show all of it. Because when people see how much work you're doing, they're going to be like, this guy knows what he's doing, and I don't want to do that work. And then they inquire. All right, thing one. Thing two, turn on the ManyChat automation so that when you are posting, put a CTA in the first line and the video, and then new followers automatically get a DM where you can sort them and say, hey, are you here for free stuff? Or would you like to grow your real estate, whatever. And then you can start working those DMs as leads. Number three is that from the leads that come in from that US Instagram, change the prices to US by adding a zero and offering the same thing. That's what I would do.
Okay.
And come up with a sexy lead magnet. Do you have a lead magnet?
For myself, no.
Yeah. Make one for yourself that's 100 days of content for real estate. 100 days of content in 100 minutes. Ooh. That sounds great.
Okay.
I like that. 100 days of content in 100 minutes. That's your CTA.
Yeah, I basically have to completely rethink how to actually do content, because it's probably very different for the US market, at least.
I actually don't think so. They're solving the same issues. The algorithm is still humans. It's what humans find interesting.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you this.
Right now,
go ahead.
Yeah, right now the best content that's working is actually about like taxes and like the laws.
Yeah.
So what's actually allowed and how to do some particular part of, let's say, selling a house.
Yeah.
So those things are different.
Those will be
in the
different
US.
by country. I agree there.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's not hard to find out. If you have a concept that works, just make the US version of the concept.
Okay.
And yes, this is a major departure, But the benefit of what you're doing right now is that if you were super, super, super far along, it's much heavier to change. But since you're earlier on in the course, it might as well shoot for the moon and get it right the first time.
Yeah.
But this still allows you to build for today and tomorrow. You're still going to make your Slovenian content. We're going to duplicate it into the US. We're going to add the CTAs in terms of the 100 to 1, 100 content in 100 minutes, 100 days of content in 100 minutes. We'll have our new followers that we get and the people who respond to the lead magnet. And when you get a US person, add a 0.
Okay. So with the current clients, I just keep them as cash flow.
For now. Yeah, you got to pay bills and feed the fam.
Okay. So there's, okay. What about so this is more just specific for realtors. What about home improvement? So there I've actually been struggling to do content for them.
Well, they're two different avatars. Which one would you rather serve?
Yeah. Well, I've been serving realtors more.
So then just focus on realtors. There's more than enough.
Okay.
You don't need two avatars. It's two different offerings, two different customers, two different businesses.
And just go after the US market.
Yep.
Okay.
So
this is a big change, but yeah.
Last point, focus on realtors. Just pick.
Okay.
Cool?
Cool.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
No, you bet, man. I know it's going to be, it's you're in a hard time, but that's a very clear plan.
Okay. Yeah.
All right?
Thank you so much. I've been watching you for a long time, so.
I appreciate you, man. Rock and roll, and I'm excited to hear how things go in 6 months, right?
All right. Alex.
Oh, hello.
Hello. My name is Yash, man. How you doing?
Yash with a Y?
Yes.
What's up, Yash?
Y-A-S-H. Not much, man. Love the hotline. Excited. So, here, I'll give some context. I started my business around 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I quit my job to go all in, and I even convinced my brother to quit his safe 9-to-5 job and join me.
Okay.
Thing is now that he and his wife want to start a family, but since we're working all day on our own little business, our own little baby, he just doesn't have enough time. So
Uh-huh.
I feel kind of bad and kind of responsible for that. So I want to figure this out and grow this
Okay.
thing so you can do that. So I have an AI SaaS that helps real estate agents and photographers.
Okay.
We make 3.3 million a year,
Okay.
and we'd like to get to 10 million a year.
Okay.
But I think what's stopping me is my churn. Like every week I get 150 subscribers, but I lose like 100 or so. So
Okay.
I think my business is going to stop growing and even decline in the off season.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking about.
All right. So walk me through onboarding right now.
Onboarding. Yeah. So the funnel right now is you can sign up with no credit card. Onboarding is we just implemented this last week, but we have an onboarding checklist.
Okay.
So
Great.
we have videos and steps on how to, activate and stuff. And then we have product tours and stuff that lets you go through the platform, make your first video, edit some photos,
Yeah.
and get value as soon as possible.
Okay. And so you're getting 150 a week, so that's 20-ish a day, right?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay. And do you have any human that is involved in the onboarding?
Right now, no. we
What's
do
the price
not.
point?
We sell our most basic package is $60 a month, and we also sell it for like $360 for the year. So we try to do annuals as much as possible to reduce churn.
Got it. So what are the activation signals that you have determined so far?
Right now, the main product is photo to video. So the main thing is going to be creating your first video within your
Okay.
first 7 days. And then another one is editing photos, like AI virtual staging and stuff like that. We just pulled the data. Around 50% make their first video in the first week, but only 10% edit their first photo.
Okay.
So we're trying to increase those activation rates.
Okay, but does making your first video correlate to them sticking?
I believe so, yeah.
Well,
I
I
could
would-
double check, but
Make sure you
the main
know
product-
that, right? And
Yeah.
do you have the metrics on people who edited? You said it was 10%. That's a separate action. And so we might discover, I'm going to bet there's 3 things here. Number 1 is who is the actual customer? So like of the people who are signing up for this, number 1 is who is buying. Number 2 is what are they doing? So we have make your first video, use the editing, and what source are they coming from? Who are they? Okay, so that's kind of 4 different variables that are going to affect which one has the highest conversion rate in LTV. And so I think the vast majority of what is missing right now is I think you should be doing more hands-on onboarding Because the onboarding checklist they have right now, is that all automated? It's like a workflow?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just a UI dashboard thing.
Okay.
So we're trying to do maybe some weekly trainings or something like that to help with onboarding, but
Let me try and like we need to atomic bomb this and get out of the like this isn't scalable mindset for the short term, and then we'll make it scalable long term. So I would like you to do, I mean, real world, like to start 2 onboardings a day, one in the morning, one at night, and when they sign up, you book them for the onboarding automatically, so that you can talk to these customers and then manually walk them through. I guarantee your onboarding checklist is going to change as soon as you actually go over their shoulder and watch them do it, because you'll also see the friction in your process, right? But you'll also you'll have way more buy-in, and you can usually handle the entire onboarding in 20 minutes, whereas they're trying to suffer their way through it. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. So just to clarify, would this be
Yeah.
like a group onboarding every day, like twice a day, or like
Yeah.
will it be? Okay.
So
And then just
group,
step
yeah,
by.
a group Zoom onboarding. Your brother can do one, you can do the other, whatever. That's number one. Number two is you need to segment the data by channel. Number one. Number two, by avatar, which I'm gonna guess there's some discriminating criteria that you can figure out, which is probably like how many houses did you sell last year, or how many houses
Right,
did you
yeah.
sell this year. That'd probably be my biggest signal guess. And then we have what are the from an action perspective, which is we have those 2 actions that we know so far, which is video and editing. And so what we're going to try and find, because we might find out that people from a specific channel suck, and we might find out that one specific avatar is the only avatar and they stay, and the LTV of that customer might be 1,000, right?
Right.
And
yeah.
so then what we'll do, because we just need this data to basically, there's only 2 things that we can do right now, and then as soon as we have that data, there's 100 other things we can do. But this is like the constraint right now. So
Yeah.
we're doing the Zoom onboarding so that you can short term get more data and probably decrease churn, just because in-person onboarding is going to do better. Number 2, when you're doing those in-person onboardings, you can be able to witness the process flows, and I guarantee you'll be able to remove friction from that process to get it to happen faster and make sure they're doing both those steps. Number 3 is that once we have the inbound data, you'll be able to see which avatars are the highest converting and the channels, and then all of that data then routes back into the front end, which is our messaging is to target this specific avatar on this specific channel. And then when they come in, we do the Zoom onboarding and make sure that every single person passes go and checks the boxes.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. I
Yes.
think one thing that I'm thinking about right now is the main reason a lot of people churn is because they only have like 4 houses a year, right? So they just don't need this every month. So
Yeah.
I guess you're saying like the ads would map exactly just like, hey, not screw those guys, but let's go for like the teams or 200 houses a year or photographers or
I
something.
mean,
right?
Teams is a great idea. Also, if you know that let's say it's 4 houses a year minimum, let's say that's the number. 2 options for you. Option 1 is you can just make everyone do annual, and I would say here's why. Or if let's say 4 houses a year is the minimum, which is 1 house a quarter, then you can just bill quarterly. So I would say like you have quarterly billing and you have annual billing. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Because we want the value cycle to be aligned with the billing cycle.
Yeah. I think after we added the annual option, around 40 to 50% of people take that now, which
Yeah.
is a huge bump, but
Yeah, I mean it's buy 6 get 6, right?
yeah, roughly.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see what happens if you remove the monthly and only have annual.
Me too. Me too. It's scary.
I mean, it's an easy test, man. You can run in, a week and find out. It's not like I mean, that's actually the easiest test in the world, because it's not like you're even changing your price. You're just removing an option.
True. Okay.
So let me recap this. Number 1, Zoom group onboarding. Number 2, activation points on that onboarding, which is going to be video and editing. Get that done in 20 minutes and remove friction from the process. 3, get the data of channel and avatar to see which ones of these have the highest conversion. And since you won't be able to wait to see churn because so many people are going to be annual, you have to just check, are they checking both these boxes? And then number 4, I would test the annual only. But once you see it, even if annual only is the winner, I like keeping monthly there because it keeps you honest. And then basically once you truly solve churn on monthly, because it gives you a much faster feedback loop, then you basically can push everyone to annual, because then the economics are better. Does that make sense?
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
we keep the monthly because we need the signal.
Yeah, for short term, and then
Yes.
long term
To fix the product. Yeah, and I wouldn't even try to I wouldn't try and scale past where you're at right now until you fix this, and then scaling will simply occur. Because even if you don't change your front end, if you cut your churn by 2/3, the business will triple. That gets you to 10.
True. Yeah, definitely.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll, man. I'll try that out. And then just one more
Yeah.
thing on booking the onboarding call. Like, what does that flow actually look like? Is it like a button in the UI? Is it like an email that says book your onboarding
Oh,
call?
dude, it's an atomic bomb. I mean, we're going to text, we're going to call, we're going to email. In the actual flow itself, as your next step is book your onboarding call. We've got 2 a day. They're with a real person. So we actually get you the most out of this thing.
Okay, 100%. I'm going to try that out.
Appreciate you, and good luck to your brother.
Thanks so much, man. Have a good one.
You bet.
Okay, bye.
Bye. So for those of you who are just joining us, this is Hormozi Hotline, where I'm taking calls from Vantage, which is our $1 million plus business owner community. It's $1,000 a month. I don't like hiding that. The reason for that is because when I surveyed the group of $1 million plus business owners, I said, what is the absolute cheapest price that I can price this at where you think you'd still think that it could actually deliver? By the way, if you're curious, the price point that was maximum revenue when I did the survey was $5,000 a month, which I very strongly looked at because who doesn't want a revenue max? But the goal is to build the largest and best community of $1 million plus business owners. And so HQ AI, which Justin before this was talking about, is one of the biggest things that we include. And if you don't know what HQ AI is, I have spent 2.5 years doing consults every single week with business owners. Deep dives into businesses, so like 20-page packets on the businesses to figure out exactly what they need to do. These are for bigger businesses. And we've trained the AI on every single one of my private consultations, which is now like 500, plus the 3,000 or 4,000 that my whole team has done as well. And we're trying to build the most advanced small business AI out there with the stuff that's working today across industries. And that's why we have this whole advisory practice, because that's my long-term play. And so more amazing businesses coming in is how the flywheel spins. So you're a $1 million business owner, that's what it is, and that's what these calls are. All right, let's do it. Next one. The link's somewhere. You can probably
All right,
find it.
Alex. Good to be talking with you.
What's up?
Hey, my name's Alex. I'm out of Greenville, South Carolina. I founded a turnkey construction safety company.
Okay.
And so right now, what I'm looking at is I'm working 60, 70-hour weeks. The phone's nonstop. And when I'm at the house, my mind's still trying to figure out work problems. So I'm not always present with the people that I care about. And I've got a 3rd baby on the way, and I'm missing some of those moments that you don't get back, right? So business-wise, we're making about 2.1 million. I've got a goal of getting to 5 million by the end of this year, and we've experienced some rapid growth. So I've been getting pulled back into the type of tasks where I feel really competent and I was really good at as a safety guy. And instead of hiring the people that are better than me and building those systems that really the business needs to scale. So I guess my question is how would you attack that problem if you were in my shoes?
What's profit?
Profit, we're at about 22% right now.
Okay, so 400 a year ish on net, but you're growing right now, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so call it pacing 600, something like that. Does that sound about right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Sounds right.
So I'm just trying to see what we got to work with. Okay. How much does it cost to get the person that you need?
So I'm thinking I just hired a director of operations, and he's in his 2nd month, so he's still learning our systems and our culture and all of that. And then I'm looking at bringing in a person underneath him to start helping. We field safety professionals, so we've got about 13 people across 4 states. And so really that secondary person is going to handle managing that talent and that workforce, because that's where a lot of the phone calls and the text messages and the emails come from. So I think really if for another person that we need, they'd probably be I'd say about a $150,000 guy or gal.
Okay. Is your director going to watch this? Because I can I'll remove your name too, if that helps.
He will not watch this.
Okay. So I'll tell you, let me ask one question before I say what I'm going to say. Did you feel relief from that director coming in?
Huge relief.
Okay, fine. Then he can live to fight another day. Okay, so the director came in. You're going to hire some guy underneath him that's $150K. So what's stopping you from doing that right now?
So I think what I'm running into is as we grow and the demand continues to increase, I'm also trying to acquire the talent and get the talent in while executing all of the tasks. So
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm stuck.
Got it. What's your hiring funnel right now?
It's been referral, just proximity people that we see on job sites and we've worked with, and now we're starting to get on the LinkedIn's and the Indeeds and things like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, referral is obviously always the best way to grow. Do you have 13 guys in the field? Do they know people?
They do.
Okay. What incentive do you have
They
for your
do.
referrals right now?
So currently, our referral program's all based around finding other safety professionals
Yeah.
that we can ship out to job sites. So
Uh-huh.
we pay a bonus program of essentially locate a guy, and if we hire him, we'll pay $500. If they stay for 90 days, then we'll pay them an extra $1,000.
Uh-huh.
And that was built in your boardroom about 2 weeks ago. So
Okay.
that's
Well, we're
that's
gonna do.
currently being issued.
I love the spirit. We need to tweak one important thing. How much do you make per $150,000 per year guy?
Um, that per our average person right now is about 70K, and we make probably about 200,000 off of them.
Okay.
So I'm not sure with this guy. I don't
Okay.
have that number.
So let's just use those numbers, right? 70K, right? And well, how much do you think this guy will make you? It's more than that, correct?
So yeah, it's yeah, yes.
Okay.
He'll make more than that, but I think he's gonna take me out of we have one funnel for staffing, which is what I've been
Uh-huh.
talking about. We have other funnels, which is consulting and things like that, that pulls me out into job sites.
Yeah.
And I think that person will probably I'd say at least a quarter mil from this guy.
And this guy's 150.
Yes, imagine.
So that 250 is extra or in total on 150?
I think it would be in total.
Hmm.
Where we stand right now.
Yeah. I don't love that. I like the 70 to 200 better. um,
I like
Okay.
those a lot.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do a couple things. So number one is on the new referral program that you're about to roll out or just rolled out. I just think the economics need to be changed. So you have your 500 and then 1,000. So that's $1,500 total. For me, if I know that somebody can make me $130,000 in gross profit, I'm willing to pay 10%, 20% of that, like no problem. And so I think that if you made this thing like 10 grand or 15 grand, I'll bet you your guys would be significantly more responsive at working their networks. Would you agree?
100%.
So I think number one, because if you're going to pay a recruiting firm that much, which you would easily pay 10 or 20% for a kind of repeatable role like this, you'd pay 10 grand for that role. So I'd rather pay my guys that than pay an outside firm.
Yep, and we've been doing that, so that's a really good point.
Okay, so I think we go from 500 to 10K at least to start on the referral bonus, and it's fine because you're going to ROI it and you can still delay put $1,000 up front, 9,000 on the 90-day success, and I think that'll solve number one. Now this more specialized role, are there specialized recruiters who hire for this particular person?
There are, but we haven't had success with them.
Okay, are they contingency based?
Some of them.
Okay, so this is what I do when I have a one-off role. I go recruiters. If I have a repeatable role, I build a whole system around it because it's like core to the business. So like the guys on site, that is repeatable role. I'm gonna need, like you have 13, you're gonna need 30. You know what I mean? When we 3 or 4x, right? So that's where it's like we need to have dollars in, dollars out. The referral program's a great start. We need to ultimately get into we run this many ads. Our cost of acquiring talent, just like you have CAC, we need CAT, CAT. And just like we have LTV, we have lifetime gross profit per employee, which is what revenue, gross profit do we make per head. And then that becomes the kind of supply side economics of that funnel. So that has to get made. And the same exact sales methods apply. So it's like you'll run an ad, you'll have an opt-in page, you'll have a VSL, right? That'll sell them on why company's awesome. And then you'll push them ideally to a group call because it takes a lot of time to take those initials. And then you can select the people from that group call who you think are legit. So that'll take
Sweet.
some of your,
That makes a lot of sense.
right, it'll remove some of that time constraint that you're dealing with having all these interviews, right?
Yep, that makes a lot of
Okay.
sense.
That's the repeated role funnel. The recruiting funnel, I would like you to spin up like at a zero. So at like 10 recruiters, all contingency based, and then let them work.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, that's, yeah. So do more. Do more is what you're saying.
It's just sometimes it's a belief issue on that. You know what I mean? Like when we scaled a sales team for one of our companies from 0 to 80 in 90 days, we had to hire 80 salespeople, right? And so it's like we gassed all the ads we had, we gassed all the funnels, and we spun up 15 sales recruiters. And we paid $5 a head, which we negotiated because we were doing volume. So they had a standard fee of 10. We said, well, we're going to get 80. So, do it for 5 and we'll take as many as we can. And they were like, let's go. And so we got 15. And so we got 80 guys hired and then kept 50. And then within 90 days, we're doing $5 million a month in extra sales from that company. And so I think it's just a violence thing of like 1 or 2 didn't work. Of course not. It's like, I worked 1 or 2 leads and I didn't find a customer. It's like, it's a much bigger numbers game.
Yeah, reframing my mind around treating it like a lead and trying to hunt new business, right? It's just hunting down that new talent. So that's a good reframe.
It's a bow tie. So you have demand gen funnels and supply gen funnels. It's the same thing, but you need both in order to scale if you're a service business. Everyone misses the backside.
Makes a lot of sense. I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Congratulations on the business.
Thank you.
All right. Congrats again. And can't have a bad day with a name like that. Alex the Great. All right. This is fun, right? Is this cool? I'm liking this. This is great. Good questions. Meaty. Beefy. All right. Hopefully, for those at home, you got some stuff out of that. 19-year-old becoming.
How are you?
Hello, sir.
So, my name is Jonathan, huge fan. So, a little bit about the situation. I have a 10-month-old new baby. We just got a house. So I have a mortgage. I can't quit my job as a 9 to 5 emergency room nurse because my business doesn't get enough leads. Okay. So getting this cancer solved or being put in the right direction would literally turn around the fate of my family right now. So we're gonna have to pay for daycare soon, $1,500 a month. Babies are really cheap when they're born, but it scales up. It's like ads. And then my mortgage is equivalent to my salary every month, which is $6,000. So that's why I can't really leave there. So we run a mobile IV drips company. We make $360K per year. We like to be at $3 million a year, but what's stopping us is that we don't have enough leads. We can't figure out our Google ads and how to target our best customers. And CAC for Google ads is 278 right now.
And what's customer value?
Average LTV right now is 454. Blended CAC is 83.
Okay. Well, just from word of mouth.
SEO. But to get more scale, we wanted to get ads, and then I wanted to try meta ads. We got a few leads from there, but I took your advice on hammering one channel first up to like 100K in spend, and then going to a different channel.
Okay. I don't think you have a CAC issue. I mean, it could be like realistically, you could probably at a local level get it down to maybe 150, but like I don't think that's where the unlock is. I think you have an LTV problem. So what's the offer? So
that's my thing. I read the offers book front and back. I can't decommoditize myself from everyone else. We have a $50 off. Everyone is $50 off. Risk fees. If we're not within an hour or within an hour and a half, they're gonna go to the next person anyway. We don't really have we're there right as fast as we can be. Sometimes it's within an hour, but if we can't, it's someone else. We can't really. I can't think of a way to risk speedies this offer against my competition.
I'm actually thinking less about the front end thing and more about the back end thing. So go ahead.
We do have a package that we upsell, right? So let's say you come in for some type of drip, we're able to sell you either a 3 drip or 6 drip package, right? And then that's either 1,000 or 1,500 or up to 2,000. Okay. That I would be fine with a 278 CAC if we're able to target the right avatar, because some avatars would like that. They're fine with that. If I was able to target the right avatars, I could sell them on a 6-drip package, pull cash up front, spend more on ads, get more people, but not everyone is agreeable to the package.
What percentage of people are taking the upsell today?
10%, maybe.
Yeah. What's the offer when you're actually talking to them?
Have you ever considered, instead of rescue, right? Instead of getting a drip when you're hungover or sick, how about we get you a 6-drip package? Then you can get it every time you need it. You prevent getting sick. Get a 6 drip, you get a free add-on VIP like priority booking,
Yeah.
which everyone already expects, and then you get
Yeah.
I think it's 20% off total price.
Okay, so two things. Number one, the hook to get them to ask you more about the upsell is so did you want to have today for free?
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll be like, wait, what do you mean? And you're like, oh, I assume that's what you came in on. And then they'll be like, they'll look a little confused. And you'll say, oh, what most people do is we have if you basically sign up for our recurring thing, we take today and we just credit it towards it. So it's effectively free. And so what most people find is obviously there's hangovers, but you might not know this, but 90% of drip usage is more around feeling better rather than getting to feel normal again.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to stay ahead of it, right? So just like you go to the chiropractor to get your back cracked once a week, or you go to you go to the gym, you have your internal gym is how I think about it. And this is basically kind of at the microbiome level of fighting, working out all the little cells. And that's what you need to do, right? And so if you imagine like you felt shitty and now you feel good. When you do these, when you feel good, you'll feel amazing. Like I've got people who stop drinking caffeine because they're on these things.
I say that, yeah, that's me. I stopped drinking coffee.
Right, there you go. But the thing is that we have to get out of pathology because that's the emergency business and get it. You have to get out of the thrive and into the survive. Sorry, get out of the survive business and into the thrive business.
Mm-hmm.
So the people who are calling you because they're an emergency, and that's fine. We just need to flip emergency into ongoing. So I will say this about the one channel thing. SEO and PPC, not a lot of work once you kind of get them working, which you have right now. Like they're like you just kind of just spend the AdSense, right? Like it is what it is. We need to work on the back end sales process, which I just went over. But I think that I would actually kind of quote break my rule and say I think you need to run meta ads because you need to sell people who are in thrive mode, who want to feel better, not who feel shitty to feel normal. Because those are the people who are going to buy this for the long haul. So basically, you have inbound high intent base, but their intent is for us an emergency solution. We need people who are interruption based, who didn't wake up this morning thinking, oh, I'm going to go buy some IV drips. You need people who wake up and think, man, I feel like shit in general, and I need to do something. And then those are the people that get interrupted with an ad, and then those are the ones that you can sell.
Is there any way for me to increase, like I want a banger offer, I'm just taking 30% off. It kind of reduces the margin a little bit it pulls cash up front, but it does reduce the margin. 6 strips, 30% off.
Yeah, well, what's the price of a drip? And also if you're selling so here's the other side of it. When you sell with inbound, like intent based, which is what we're talking about, you're getting price shopped. If you sell with interruption based, they didn't wake up looking at 6 different IV shops.
Right.
So you can easily have a 30% premium that you add one extra widget in there, and now you're good to go.
So better offer for them, and then I can increase the price for meta ads.
Mm-hmm. Just tweak the offer a little bit. Just add one little thing that's different, so ethically you can have 2 different prices.
Right, and then so I've noticed, like I've sold to some people pretty well, better than others. Some people will just go ahead and buy a 6-pack right away when I mention them,
mm-hmm.
rather than others. Is there any way?
I don't even like selling the packs. I'd rather sell memberships.
But the thing is, for me, like I know monthly recurring revenue is great, but for me, the cash up front makes a difference because I can go ahead and increase spend on my ads.
No, I hear you. You can still sell a membership and then have them prepay the membership.
I get that. So instead of buying 6 packs, you're going to buy 6 months.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then it goes month to month afterwards. Yeah.
I like that. Is there any way you think for me to target my ideal customer with like fractal pricing to target one group instead of the other?
Well, you're local, right?
Yeah.
So the way that you're going to target is with the messaging more than the targeting.
So play around with the.
So are you taking a testimonial video from every customer?
We do UGC. When we were running meta ads, we do UGC testimonial.
Yeah. So every single customer makes an ad for you, right? That's number one. Number 2 is the messaging itself in the ad needs to appeal to the thrive, not survive customer, right? Number 3 is that the front end offer, we need to make, basically, they're going to come in for whatever, but the pitch to flip them into the membership is like, want to make today free. That's what most people do. Just like that. You want to have today free? That's what most people do. And they're like, how? And now they're leaning in, right? And then number 4, we're going to transition from packs to membership so that we can get the recurring revenue, and we can still front load the cash by having them prepay for the first quarter. So start at 6 months. I mean, you can start at 12, step down to 6, step down to 3.
Right. Downsell, downsell, and downsell. Yeah.
But fundamentally, the only way to, like, you're in an emergency business, right? And so you have to make, it's an LTV problem. Like, that's the issue here. It's an LTV issue. And so all of this stuff is more so, 1, get better customers on the front end, 2, have an offer that's paired with that customer on the back end. Now, once that starts happening, we may find that we've got way more pricing power on the back, and all of a sudden it's not 2K, maybe you can sell 6Ks if we bundle it in a way that makes it interesting. Like maybe you put a float tank in your van and they like get the IVs while they're floating, and and then it's like, holy shit, now this thing is like a double, like no one else can compare against me, because they want to feel better. So it's like, what other things do they need to feel better, and I can put that stuff in.
Right. And then hopefully with socials, we'll increase our brand and then increase pricing that way.
But how's that sit?
Amazing. That, I think that I was struggling with to offer everything for a while in leads. I think that changes how I look at Meta, because I was always trying to focus on one channel. This opened my eyes.
Yeah, SEO and PPC is a great, like, PPC is where I start a lot of people because it's the least work, right? Like, you just keep messing with it until you get the sales motion right. And they're the hottest leads. So just be prepared that Meta leads are going to be, I mean, if you did it before, like, they're significantly colder than PPC leads are. So just as like a preparation. Okay. How's
And then,
yeah, go ahead.
do you think I should just increase, because I've been holding back on increasing Google spend just because my cost per acquisition is so high. Do you think I should just increase spend then to get more customers?
I'm fine with the increasing spend. We just, because, like, don't think about the business as a business today. The business as it currently exists is an experiment until you get it right. So don't, like, I know that's hard to, like, say, or maybe hard to hear from me, but, like, right now we just have to nail the model. And the only reason for marketing is just so you have reps to practice this offer, the sales motion, to get people into the membership. It's the only point of existence right now. Once that gets nailed, you can scale the fucking moon. So the scaling here is just so we get more reps, not because we're trying to make more money.
That makes sense. I like that.
All right, just a reframe for you. So it's like, oh, we broke even this month. It's like, that's not the objective right now. We have to nail it, and then we'll scale it to the fucking moon.
That makes sense.
Cool. How's Vantage been for you so far?
It's a game changer, man. I mean, I've never been put in a room with like so many like-minded people.
Awesome.
I've just been tapped out by like Twitter and Reddit trying to find more people.
Right.
It's your subreddit, and there's like 5 guys in there.
Well, good to know. Well, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for saying so. And that's the playbook. All right.
Thank you so much, man.
You bet.
Thank you, Alex.
Appreciate you. All right. We drink soda, we eat pizza. This feels like modern Dave Ramsey show about building quality business. Thank you, Trade in Black. Let's see here. When will the Straits of Hormozi reopen? I don't know. When will the Straits of Hormozi be open? 19-year-old becoming a real estate agent. How do you grow your business? Who we got next?
Hey Alex, what's up?
What's up?
Not much. Hey, first and foremost, I just want to say Vantage has been an absolute game changer.
Oh, thanks, man.
The AI is, to put it in Justin's words, disgusting. It's given us so much clarity on our business, and just like the last guy said, like the community is just such high caliber people. It's made such a big difference. So thank you.
I appreciate it.
Here into my situation, so I'm like the 7th guy to say this today, but I'm 24. My wife and we just learned we have to pay for IVF treatments, which are really expensive.
Sorry.
And my 23-year-old business partner and his wife are pregnant as well.
It's like a baby's in the air.
Yes. We basically have a 9-month time clock going to solve our biggest constraints, so we can obviously make enough money to support them and be present with our kids as we're having them. So for context, we sell done-for-you content marketing services to door-to-door and life insurance salesmen. We do content and ads for them. We make $1 million per year, and we want to be at the $10 million per year mark, but our churn averages at 17% per month. I think it's an issue of being too far down market. And so I'm wondering, how do I create an offer and marketing that will attract upmarket people and decrease our churn?
Yeah. So, okay. So you're doing done for you for door to door right now. Are you helping them attract salespeople? Or are you helping them attract like homeowners?
Salespeople, helping them grow their teams. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Okay. All right. So when you're saying okay. So are you just doing lead gen and then all right? Let me reverse. Which avatars are working out?
Really just the higher earner guys,
Okay.
that are getting recruits. What's really hard about the industry is like we can get people to get recruits in their downline, but then when they're not like high enough level people to train them, then on the back end they don't actually make any money off of
Okay.
people they
Yeah.
recruit from us.
No, that
So,
tracks. So
yeah.
So then, if you were to say, what are the requirements in terms of revenue, for somebody to like, or team size for someone to be a high likely candidate of not churning?
Yeah, our best clients make over 800K a year
Right.
in personal commissions and plus how much they make on their downlines. Team size, it kind of varies by industry how big your team needs to be. But yeah, like around the 30-person mark on their sales team is a good indicator.
Okay. So to me, I hear call it 750K plus is qualifier number one. Number two is you have to have a training system. And number three is you need to have at least call it 10 plus guys. So if every person that you signed up had a training system, had over 10 guys in their downline, and was doing 750 a year, would you say that would be a good avatar to work off of?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's number one. Now, what's the price point right now?
We have two packages. Our top package was $39.95 a month. Lower package is $3,000 a month.
That's weird. It's the same price. That is by the way the same price. From a buying bucket perspective, it's same.
Okay.
So of these call it 3 and 4K a month customers, do you have any idea what the churn is amongst these more qualified people?
A lot lower. I can't say like
Would you say it's
by
5?
cohort.
Would you say it's 5%? Would you say it's 10%? Would you say it's half?
I can say that these people stay for like over a year.
Oh,
But other
dude.
people will stay for like 3 months.
Yeah, game over. Okay, this is great. So what's CAC right now?
Including the sales commission, it's like 2,100.
Dude, hold on. So is the only reason you haven't scaled this up? Okay. Let me ask the other question. What percentage of customers are the ICP or this good person versus the bad person?
Oh, so low. We have like six out of the 40 that we manage that are the ICP.
Okay, got it. So I think what you're going to need to do is this. I'm going to give you a short term and long term, okay? Because we got to make money today. But so what I want you to do is I want you to have basically 5K as your price to the minnows who are coming in.
Okay.
5 or 6. I'm kind of agnostic there for minnows, and just say that it's billed quarterly. So that's actually a price drop for you. But I think if it's billed quarterly, it'll give them more runway to actually get going and whatnot, and it'll have a little bit bigger commitment for you, and you can still generate some cash. This is short term. Long term, what we need to do is we need to change all the messaging to the avatar, to the correct avatar. And so if you only talk to the correct avatar, like whenever you talk to a slice of the audience, everything underneath always applies, and it basically cuts off around what you're talking. So if I say, $1 million plus business owners, obviously we qualify everyone for, $1 million plus, minus the people we grandfathered from the launch. But we get tons of people who are below that who apply, right? And so we just have to qualify the people that we sell. And so if the messaging doesn't say this, then you're not going to attract them.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Now, how much because you might be a little mispriced, because I kind of like 5K a month and 5K a quarter. So 5K a quarter for the memos.
As the two tiers.
Yeah, because they're too close. 3K and 4K is the same number.
Yeah.
So I want to take the lower one, make it lower. I want it to be closer to $1,500 a month is what I'm thinking. And then for the higher tier, it's like those guys, the 5K a month is nothing for them, right?
Yeah, but they think it's a lot oftentimes. But
Yeah, but I mean, no, but They're salespeople. Like, I mean, everyone's going to negotiate. Like, every vendor I have is charging me too much. like whatever. What we care about is their behavior. Are they canceling? No. So it's not too much, right?
Yeah.
And are they buying? Yes, when you get them on the phone, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I think, and this is you're gonna shit your pants when I say this. I think you're probably gonna be in a world where you might be at the 5,000 to 10,000 a month in the not too distant future. Because remember, if 750K is the minimum, right? People above that, 60K, 80K, it's not going to make a huge deal because if they're going to get all the salespeople they need to triple their income, like what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So, two questions with that. The first one being, so how we get our leads right now, I do a little bit of paid ads, but mostly like organic content. And I feel like the amount of people that are in the ICP from a content perspective is so small. Like, I don't know what total TAM is, but I don't feel like it's enough to, if I'm making organic content, it would actually perform well enough.
Dude, welcome to my world. Do you know what percentage of businesses are, there's 9% of people own a business. Of the people that own a business, percentage of people that are over $1 million is like 5% of that 9%. That's just 1 million. Forget 10, right? Just 1 million. So I'm already like 0.5% of all people. So like, there's nothing wrong with saying I'm skimming from the top and I'm surfing it. Because here's the thing that if I could show you a map visually, did you watch the YouTube video I made that was like the 51-1-1 rule? Did you see that one?
I haven't seen that one, no.
Watch it, okay? So that video, basically, I put this map out where I put 100 circles to represent 100% of people, right? And if you draw a line in the middle, if you look at all wealth, 50 of those dots have $2. And then the next like 40% have like $25. And then the next 9% have like $36. And then the top 1% has like $32. And so if you look at that map, the fact that you can only serve this tiny amount is not a tiny amount of the money.
So you think putting out content as the main source of getting the leads, like in terms of
Content and
algorithm,
ads.
like,
Content and ads. All the messaging through the funnel and the offer needs to apply to this avatar. Because you're going to spin your wheels forever at 70% churn. You're not going to grow.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, that's how it's been the last
Right.
like year and a half. So.
Right. So you're going to still get minnows, and that's fine. We're going to put them into a lower price at a less frequent billing cadence to hopefully give them a little bit more on-ramp time without them having to make another purchasing decision to hopefully get kind of upskilled enough to make it work. Inside of that minnow thing, I would probably include a training on how to build a training, or just build a fucking training and then give it to them and then have them execute it. Some of them are going to do it, some of them are not. This is short-term cash flow, but the long-term play, and I need you to do this in terms of your data tracking, separate out your ICPs from non-ICPs and then track that churn separately.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
the churn I
that'll be
care about. If we can get that churn to sub 3% a month, we're fucking killing it. All right?
Okay.
That's the game.
Amazing. My second question is, in terms of what that lower, so for 1,500 a month,
Yeah.
we have our like costs to deliver for the
Do
labor
less.
and everything.
Do less.
Just do less,
Yeah.
less pieces of content per month or
Yeah.
less.
I mean, realistically, you need to use AI more and automate a huge portion of that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
being
we've
real.
recently learned that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we have a YouTube channel that we just started that with one guy, and we're putting out 20 videos a day.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right. So like it's you have to lean into this, and if your team's not like, the biggest thing out of all this is your cost basis and your pricing is based on your old delivery model. We need to change the delivery model so that you can have significantly higher gross margins. That's like big flashing Vegas signs. Beyond that is change the avatar to 750. They have to have training and at least 10 sales guys. We can split the pricing for minnows and whales. Minnows get 5K per quarter. Whales get 5K per month. Messaging has to now match this new avatar. We need to segment churn. Number 4, segment churn between the ideal customers and the minnows so that we can actually track. Once you hit, I'll just call it 5% a month churn with the correct avatar, scale it.
Nice. That's amazing. Thank
Cool.
you so much. Yes. Super cool.
Appreciate you. All right. Wasn't this fun? All right, let's do le chat. Le chat. What do we have here? Okay. Shall I answer these ones you pull up? Okay. How do you stop Okay, how do you stop constantly pivoting before execution when each new idea seems more rational than the last? I'm stuck in analysis and can't commit to anything. Okay, so the reason each new idea feels more compelling than the last is that you're actually running on this lovely loop here, which is one of my favorites, which is basically the doom cycle. So you start here, and then you get really excited. This is called uninformed optimism. This is where you see the new idea and you're like, holy shit, this looks awesome. Then you find out more about that idea, and then you get into informed pessimism. Oh no, this isn't as easy as I thought. I'm not going to become a millionaire overnight. And so then what you do is you go into the valley of despair, which is the sad phase. And then at this point, what you do is you find another shiny object. And so you just keep doing the cycle over and over again. The only way to get out of it is basically make it through the valley of despair so that you then get to informed optimism rather than uninformed optimism, which then leads you to achievement. All right. And so you're basically going through the same cycle over and over again of something that I'm doing sucks because I just found out about it. I found this new thing. I don't know much about it, but it sounds exciting. I found out more. It's not as exciting as I thought. Let me look for something else. I'll tell you a story that my CFO, Suzanne Shiflett, told me a long time ago. She said, Alex, in all my years, all I can tell you is everything's got shit. She's like, I've been in this business, this business, this business. All businesses have problems. All businesses have shit. And the reason that the grass is so green on the other side is because it's fertilized with manure. All right. And so every single business that feels like it's easy is only a signal that you don't know enough yet. That is a promise that I can make to you. And I can say that last year, maybe it was 2024, was the first year in my whole career where I actually was like, I don't think I have this whole shiny object thing as much as I used to. And I would say that for the first 13 years of my career, it was like a huge problem for me. And the story that like when it became real for me was a friend of mine made like 50 million in crypto in a quarter. And I was like, holy shit. And not once in my mind was I like, I should get into this. I was like, I have no idea how that works. I'm glad he spends all his time doing it. I've got my own thing going on. Because there's so much debt that you have to pay down to get good at anything that once you start really going down the path, it's like, the thing that we have to think about is, let's say this is year 1, this is year 2, this is year 3 with whatever business opportunity you're on, right? You want to, at year 3, say, I want to jump to this new opportunity because it looks more exciting. And it looks more exciting because you think the growth rate is more compelling. But what that really looks like is like, okay, maybe this is year 1 of the new thing. But the thing is year 1 of new thing is still year 4 of the old thing. But then you're like, okay, but maybe my growth will be faster. So maybe I'll be at year 3 at year 2 on my new thing. Yeah, but then I have to compare it to year 5 of my old thing. And this is how compounding works over the long haul. Is that, like, I talk about Mr. Panda a lot, who's my neighbor, or was my neighbor, who owns Panda Express. If you were to talk to him 45 years ago and say, hey, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm a Chinaman and I'm going to make a Chinese chicken shack. I want to say chicken shack. Most people would say, hey, that's not a very good opportunity vehicle. Why are you going to do that? Well, 45 years later, he's a decabillionaire. So how do you do that? He just kept selling chicken and made it the absolute best in the world. Raising Cane's has 7 ingredients on the menu, right? They keep it so simple on purpose because they've tried to eliminate all complexity in the business, which allowed them to scale. And so you can only get that depth of knowledge with basically surface area of exposure to the opportunity. And so you have to see the ridges, you have to get into the texture, and so you have to get past the point where you feel like it no longer makes sense, because that's the point where everyone stops. And so if you see people who are successful, I will give you a belief that I have that has served me well, which is that if someone else can do it, they're made from the same flesh and blood that I am. I can use the same hands and the same feet and the same mouth to do the same things that they're doing. There's nothing that makes them any better than me, and I can do it. And so all I have to do is I have to model what they're doing, and if I model exactly what they do, I should be able to get what they're doing. But if I'm me, I'm like, well, if I do twice as much or 3 times as much, then I should be, on a long enough time horizon, be able to beat them. And fundamentally, that has been my viewpoint of the world, and if you have this struggle, it's because you need to stick with it. All right. You said that AI implementation is a business that you'd recommend. Yes. Should I learn to code for it or just skip the basics and go all in on Claude? I see these as like happy to glads. A lot of so in Anthropic right now, and so this is a little bit of hearsay, per my understanding, none of them have hands-on keyboard. So none of them are actually coding. Everyone has swarms of agents they have 20, 30, 50 agents at a time that are doing their coding, and they're basically full-time in project management code review. That's all they're doing, and that's why they're shipping so much stuff so fast. And so if you kind of can skip over that chunk of time right now. And the nice thing is that AI is the first product that has ever existed that will teach you how to use it. You just say, how do I use you? What do I do now? And so, yes, I think that is AI implementation is a great business that I'd recommend. And I wouldn't even think about what's my vehicle. Start with the problem. What customer do you want to serve? What problem do you want to solve? Go solve that problem. Elon has this great story about this, which is like, if you're like, I want to learn to code, that's very hard. It's like saying, this is what a wrench does, and explaining what a wrench does. It's much more useful to say, hey, let's open up the hood of this engine. And then they're like, well, how do I open the hood of the engine? And you're like, you need a wrench. And now the utility of the tool has a purpose and a reinforcement that's attached to it. And so if you want to start with the business owner, start with the problem, and then try and solve the problem, and then you will learn tools in a contextually relevant way, which will actually make it useful, and you actually learn it. All right. Alex, what's the one leadership move Layla does better than anyone that you've quietly adopted yourself? Quietly. That sounds like a GPT question. That you've quietly adopted yourself. I give more kudos now than I used to. I used to have a little bit more of the like, if you didn't hear from me, everything's fine perspective. And what that basically is it means that I train my team to extinct good behavior. And so I have dramatically increased the amount of kudos that I give out to people on a regular basis. I'd say that's the biggest thing I've taken from Layla. And for those of you who do know, Layla, my dear wife, she is working on a book about this particular topic. So stay very tuned for that. It's going to be very good. I have read the initial draft, and it's quite savage. Also, in the chat, if you spam the chat, we'll just delete your shit, and I definitely want to answer your question. So the best way to get your question not answered is to spam. All right, what is the best way to target enterprise clients? We make 3D images for off-plan developments, targeting developers, but there are not that many, and they're usually huge clients. What's the best approach? Really, it's a really good question. So enterprise clients, it's like you typically want to go where the fish are. To be fair, that's what you want to do with everyone. It's just that the ponds are much smaller and more disparate. And so this is where I like trade shows, conferences, and COIs, so centers of influence. And so you may find that, let's say those developers use specific law firms, and I would do what I could to get into there and get them to refer me. So basically at that level, you're going to probably get in from, I would call it less scalable methods, because there's so many gates between you and decision maker, that you basically need internal champions or trusted champions to make the recommendation. The only alternative to that is basically becoming a thought leader, which is making content, building a long-term brand, which obviously you should do long-term. So the best way is build a big brand. The fastest way is aggressively increase the amount of outreach, trade shows, and affiliates that work with those customers so that you can bolt on or bolt in your services to theirs. Architects would be a good one too. All right, Samal, I work in finance. I have a son with a baby number 2 on the way. Run a side business, hit the gym, and prioritize family. Okay. I passed CFA level 1 and considering level 2 in August, but it's mostly ego. How should I decide if it's worth the trade-off? I feel like you already answered the question, but if there's a clear ROI for CFA level 2 and there's like earning that you're going to unlock, that's just a straight ROI question of like, how much time does it take to study? And do I unlock permanent income increases? That might make a lot of sense. It sounds like, I mean, I love short-term investment for long-term forever payoff. And that's what that sounds like this is, especially if it's your career path. But I just want to make sure that it's tied to some level of higher income. But I think it makes sense. And I think if you're like, hey, if you give me these 6 months, I'll be able to do all of this for the rest of our lives, that seems like a pretty fair trade. If you had to build a business today with no audience, no capital, and only 90 days, what would you do that almost nobody else would be willing to do? What I've already done. Work, man. Work. No, like, No one's willing to work. It's interesting because maybe Julian can speak to this because he's here a lot with me at 4 a.m. But I think what the hardest thing to see that no one will ever be able to witness unless they literally work at acquisition.com is consistency. Because the only way to witness consistency is to also be consistent. Like, you have to be there to see someone show up every day, right? Like, if I showed you an hour and a half long workout, you might be like, that's it? And so, like, the thing is like the one workout isn't impressive. It's just that you do it for 20 straight years. That's the impressive part. And so there's so much, like, where you will beat everyone is in longevity. Like, it's one of the last remaining alphas that exists is the patience of consistency, is being willing to do the same thing over and over again without immediate reward. And that is the thing that almost nobody else is willing to do, which is why all the fruits are on the other side of consistency, because so few willing people are able to take it. But the thing is it is simple. It's just hard because there's so many, every day that you have to do something, there's 100 reasons not to do it. And there's only one reason to do it, and it's far in the future, and you have to convince yourself that that reason is worth it. Okay, if you had zero money, no active, I swear to God, it's like on a deserted island. You can't speak, you've lost your tongue, you're blind, and need to make money. What do you do? All right, my skill is meta learning. I've got a profile. I don't even know what meta learning is. Learning about learning. I'm 23 and I'm trying to make content, but it's hard. I have no team, I have no support, no nothing. Yeah, that's just what starting is. I'm going to make it happen somehow, but I love some advice. I'm gonna say something. I'm trying to read between the lines here. So this might be like not what you expected, which is I think I'm smelling a little bit of victim here, a little bit of woe is me, a little bit of like all know this, nothing, no support, no team, and I would say congratulations, you get to start the same way everyone else did who made it. And for everyone who's like, oh, only rich people we're all rich, self-made. If you look at the millionaires list, the vast majority of them are self-made. The vast majority, it's like 80%, a lot are self-made. Still in America, the minority of people inherit. And even if you did inherit, you still need the skills to keep it. So I'll say this, man. First off, I have a lot of love for you. I know that this spot you're in. I quit my job at 22 and started my business at 23. So I know the kind of like where you're at from that perspective. But I just made a commitment to myself that I would either make it work or die. Basically, like, as long as I have food to fuel me, I'll just keep going. And I think that, like, if you can divorce yourself from all the make-believe standards that you are making up and then holding yourself to and then deeming yourself insufficient, you'll have significantly more freedom of action. You'll be able to do whatever the fuck it takes to get whatever the fuck you want for however long it fucking takes. And I think that's all you really can ask of yourself. And then the rate of you getting there is going to be directly correlated to your rate of learning. Some people it takes longer to learn, some people it takes less time to learn, but I can promise you'll learn faster if you do more. So with that, friends, family, countrymen, lend me your ears. I hope you enjoyed today's sesh of Hormozi Hotline. It was my great honor serving you. I hope this was enjoyable. Chat, you guys rock. Some of these messages are wild. And have an amazing Thursday, and I'll see you guys on the interwebs. Bye!